Let me start with a feeling. That frustration that you feel when you've purchased something you thought was going to look amazing on you, but you just cannot get it to work for you. All your favorite influencers have been posting outfits with this item and you love how it looks on them, but you just cannot get the item to look as good on you as it does on them. Well, here's where I tell you that this idea that everyone that you think is stylish or your favorite influencer just puts something on and it looks effortless and perfect the first time that they wear it, it's just fundamentally false. You would never expect a complete beginner musician to play a complex song perfectly when they first pick up their first instrument, and it is exactly the same with fashion. So today in this video I just want to share 5 tips or techniques that I do when I get something new in and I just can't seem to get it to work in the way that I want it to. As always with me, everything will be linked down in the description down below, so if anything takes your fancy, go have a look down there and make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy. Let's begin. Fundamentally, we all know you can't wear something if it physically does not fit you, but that's not what I'm talking about today. Fit in fashion is fundamentally a scale, from tight fit to very oversized, and every piece of clothing falls on this scale in relation to your body. When you get something new in, the first thing you ask yourself is, where does this item sit on this scale? And from there you can begin to think about, is this item too oversized? Is it maybe a little bit too tight for what I'm going for? Briefly, I just want to mention something I mentioned in another video, and that is this fundamental idea that everything in clothing has to flatter you and that is the ultimate arbor of what makes great style. Whether it's to make you look taller or more muscly or skinnier, whatever. Don't get me wrong, obviously when you put on your clothes, they should make you feel great and amazing about yourself. But getting stuck in this idea that absolutely everything has to flatter you or make you look a certain way will inhibit your creativity, and really it just suppresses your ability to create interesting outfits for yourself. As my regulars know on this channel, all I wore for years and years and years was slim fit black clothes because that's what I thought would make me look taller, and anything that was outside of that box or deviated from that formula would instantly make me look short and thus ruin my style. Overall though, it's much more important to understand and accept your body and just be very specific and deliberate with exactly how you want your clothing to fit you. Actually, I just want to quickly mention that it is never your body which is the issue when it comes to fit. With all these tips that I'm mentioning in this video and with fashion in general, it is always the clothes that are not working for you and not your body that doesn't work for the clothes. Thinking that way, that your body is somehow the problem and not the clothes, is a one-way ticket to a whole host of body insecurities. So keep this in mind. It's always the clothes that are the issue and not the other way around. Just wanted to clarify. Ah yes, proportions, the favorite buzzword of the fashion community. All I see when people talk about proportions is the rule of thirds, and whilst the rule of thirds idea is great, it's so surface level when you consider the grander scale of proportions in fashion. Let's make this easy though. Proportions, for me at least, are a continuation of fit. If fit is the relationship between a single piece of clothing and your body, then proportions are the relationship between those clothes and your body and the clothes in themselves simultaneously. Proportions are definitely one of the most difficult things to sort of mentally picture in your head when you find something new. And like fit, it's super important to understand how you like to play with proportions in the way that you want to with your body. You need to ask yourself, do you like a lot of contrast in your outfits when it comes to proportions? Or do you like something more harmonious and balanced, where the proportions are very similar? First, if I'm happy with the individual fit of each item, then I would consider, is there something wrong going on with the proportions? Maybe there's not enough proportional contrast, or maybe there's too much. Then through this lens of proportion, you can begin to change items out and then really see what isn't working with the outfit for you. Nailing this idea of proportions though in your outfits is not some easy task and will require regular practice and honest self-reflection when it comes to putting your outfits together. When you get something new in, make sure to look at it from the lens of proportion, and if you're happy with it but it's still not working, you can move on to the next tips. Thirdly, and it's a simple one, but one I ignored for just the longest amount of time, and it is ironing or steaming your new in items. A piece that has been sat, folded or crumpled in the back of a delivery van before it gets to you will fit so much differently than something that has been steamed or ironed. Certain fabrics, once they've been steamed, will sit a lot more naturally and drape a lot more naturally once they're on your body. And this can give you a much better idea of how this item actually fits you. Steamers really are one of the handiest fashion tools to have around. I've done a whole video on my favorite fashion tools before like this, so I'll be quick. I'll link the steamer I have in the description down below. It honestly takes 5 minutes to steam something once you get it in, and it can definitely make something work for you when before it just wasn't. Step number 4 that I go to once I've completed these 3 steps is to start thinking like a stylist, thinking of my favorite styling tweaks or techniques. Can't think of a single time where I put something on, whether it be new or whether it be out of my wardrobe, and it just sits perfectly, it tucks perfectly, it drapes perfectly, or it like rolls perfectly. That just never really happens. Everyone who you would consider has great style to some extent understands the dark art of styling. And it really is a dark art because it's so easy to miss and it can really change how something looks on you. Rather than assuming that a new item has to look amazing on you the instant that you put it on, I would invest some time into learning some fundamental style techniques that you think you can incorporate to elevate your personal style. Learn how to cuff your sweatpants to the height that you like, or learn how to roll your sleeves properly, or how to perfectly place a hood on a hoodie. Maybe you wear shirts a lot, so you learn all the different types of shirt tucks. There are so many styling techniques out there and they can 100% change your mind on an item when it wasn't working before. This black puffer that I wear all the time is a great example of this. When I got this in, I actually didn't really like the fit of it. I couldn't get it to work and I thought it was simply a fit problem because it's quite bulky and it was quite long. After spending some time with it in front of the mirror, I realized that all I needed to do was to cinch the waist in. This essentially crops the puffer, it makes my legs look longer, which then proportionally balanced out the bulky torso. This one turned out to be a combination of styling and proportions, but this one technique completely changed my mind from wanting to return it to wearing it all the time. And you don't need to learn everything that there is about being a stylist, just the ones that are most useful and foundational to the pieces that you wear. This then will make you even more confident in your foundational wardrobe and will fast track your progression to great personal style. If all else fails, my final tip when something just isn't working is to throw it on with a super basic outfit consisting of grounding items or accessories. Grounding items, at least for me, are the foundations of your wardrobe and pieces that you feel super comfortable wearing. Sometimes if you get a new piece in or you're trying something new, it can be too big of a leap outside your comfort zone. So it's really good to bring it back to a place of familiarity and comfort for you to really make a decision on whether this certain piece is right for you. These grounding items should always consist of items that you love, make you confident, and you know look good on you. For me, black is a very comfortable color. I feel very confident in it. So if I get something new in and I just can't get it to work, I'll strip it back and wear something black in the outfit to really decide whether I want it. Pulling it back and wearing an outfit that you know 100% looks good on you will allow you to a lot more objectively decide whether this item is right for you or not. Unless you're a complete beginner purchasing those foundational pieces, your new purchases should always pair well with your foundational, reliable pieces that ground your style. If after all this consideration, this new piece still isn't working for you, well then maybe it's time to consider an exchange for a different size, or maybe it's just straight up time to return it. But you shouldn't feel disheartened. This process of building a foundational wardrobe and having great style is ultimately what's called an infinite goal. What do I mean by an infinite goal? Well, there really is no endpoint to it. It's nothing that you can achieve. It's much more of a mindset and something that you will continue throughout your life. So take the time and enjoy the process, enjoy the excitement of getting something new in, consider all these points and hopefully they can help you out. If you've made it to this point in the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and go and check out these videos here if you're after more fashion content. Have a wonderful week, guys, and I will see you next Sunday. See you then.